Got it.
Welcome, everyone. We are here with Aiden Thomas, a trans Latinx New York Times bestselling author from Oakland, California. You may know them for the amazing novels Lost in the Neverwoods, Los Chicos de Cementerio, which is the Spanish version of The Cemetery Boys, and the brand new book Celestial Monsters, which is the sequel for The Sunbearer Trials, Las Pruebas del Sol. And this is the book that we will be discussing today. They live and write from Portland, Oregon. Am I correct?
Yeah.
And as a random fact, I was told that they organize their bookshelves by color.
That's true. And it makes some people infuriated.
You mean we need to make some rainbows for the everything
Exactly.
possible? Yeah.
I agree.
So thank you and welcome for coming and joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk to you guys.
So we just read for this month and part of the last month as well, the Sunbearer Trials. It was a fantastic read. I was telling my reader friends that this is a very addictive book, and I need to confess, Aiden, that last year when we met, I
Yeah.
didn't finish the book, uh, but it feels so on time because I cannot believe you did this. And,
I know, I'm
and
so sorry. I feel like people picked up the Sunbearer Trials and like a lot of folks didn't realize that it was a duology. So they got like to the end of the first one. And I get so many people like in my mentions and DMs being like, how could you, Aiden? And I'm like, I'm sorry.
How dare
but
you?
yeah,
Exactly.
how dare you?
Exactly.
But the good thing is that Celestial Monsters is out now, so
Yeah,
it's just a matter of time for my copy to arrive.
there we go.
Thank you, Aiden. To start with, in the acknowledgements part at the end of the book, you mentioned that this idea came to you during the pandemic.
Uh,
And I would like to ask you, how was the process for making this story, the inspiration you got? Tell us a little bit about that.
yeah, I think like the inspiration for it was that I'm like a huge Percy Jackson like nerd. Like I grew up reading those books and I loved them so much, but I had a really hard time kind of picturing myself in those stories. Like Rick Riordan's books have gotten a lot more diverse now, but like at the beginning it was pretty like cut and dry. So I was always like thinking I'd be like, well, what if it was like Mexican Percy Jackson? Like how cool would that be? And that was like an idea that was just like hanging out in my brain for a really long time. And then I finally decided to like start writing it, and it went through a lot of changes. Originally, Teo was not the main character. It was actually going to be a dual POV between Aurelio and Aristella. And so when I started actually like plotting out the book and not just being like, oh, this would be a fun idea, what I realized was that Aurelio is he's so part of the system that needs to get broken down in the series that I realized because he's part of the system and he believes in the system. And what I realized was that I needed someone who was going to cause more trouble than what Aurelio would organically do on his own. And so that's when I realized because Teo had been the love interest, and then I realized that Teo actually needed to be my main character. And I was always really fascinated. I love the Hunger Games. That's another series that I'm like freaking obsessed with. Um, and I was always fascinated by the career tributes, the like teenagers that are like trained in order to compete in the Hunger Games. And so that's where I came up with, the golds versus the jades and like just wanting to explore like what that would look like. And then like the third bit of inspiration was is probably obvious, but My Hero Academia. 'Cause, like I love a tournament arc in anime. So that was like a really easy one. Yeah, and then when I wrote it, it was weird because it was during the pandemic, specifically during quarantine, and I had to be at my office job where no one was. Like it was empty, and I wrote this book like entirely in a big conference room all by myself. And it was like really spooky because when we closed down for quarantine, people just like left all their stuff. So it looked like everyone had just like disappeared. It was very haunted. And the lights were like motion sensors, so the lights would turn off on me all the time. And it was really scary. So it was funny to like have this really isolated experience of working on that, working on the Sunbearer Trials during quarantine. But it was also really nice because it was a distraction, so I didn't have to think about how the world was falling apart. So like that was really nice. But yeah, it was very different than how I'm used to writing books.
I love the way that you put down in words the inspirations because it is very clear for you. And not only it reminds me of those classics in terms of dystopian
Mm,
futures or
yeah.
teenagers in trouble, but it makes me feel like I was a child reading new fantasy, and that I would have loved to read this years ago, but
Yeah.
also for me it was like the perfect time, this point of my life to read this.
Oh, I'm so glad.
And also, I truly support your way of thinking, your thought, because there's a lack of representation in some of the classics that we are used to. We always see a male or a female, and in a heteronormative system,
Yeah.
and and they may fall in love, they may not, but it is always not trans representation, or if there are appear any LGBTQ plus character, it is a second character in the story. It's
Yeah.
not really in the focus. And this is also the first time I get to read a fantastic trans character. And I will always remember that. You were my first, Aiden.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. That makes me so happy.
And also, when you mentioned that,
I
oh yeah, please, Yvette. You were
sorry. It's just that you're talking about it, and I just want to like follow the conversation. That I swear to God, I just started the book, and it felt like the Hunger Games meet Percy Jackson. I just
Perfect.
couldn't get that idea out of my mind because it was exactly that. And I am so happy because it really sounds like if you cannot read the story that you like, why don't you write that story? And you
Exactly.
certainly achieved that. And we are really happy to get the chance to read a book like that
Oh my
that
gosh.
we didn't happen to read back in the days when there was like the golden age of the dystopian. But now we
Yeah.
hadn't. I am really happy your book is quite addictive.
Thank you so much. That's so kind. And I think that we might be entering another era of young adult dystopian books. I'm crossing my fingers because I it's also like my favorite genre and I want to read it and I want to write in it. So hopefully that becomes a trend.
Yes, and also we love how the teenagers are able to
Yeah.
defy, to question the authority, and Theo is just that.
It's true. He's my big troublemaker, that's for sure.
And I love the way you sign books because you also at the make trouble. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but
Yeah. Make
and
trouble and in celestial monsters I usually put make change. So they like go together.
wow, wow. At the moment, I didn't understand why until
Yeah.
I was close to the end, and there is this conversation with Joemak and Theo,
Yeah.
and I loved it. I just wanted to hug my book and also give a hug to Aiden because that's what we need as readers, and that's what we do. We cause trouble.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a professional troublemaker at this point, which is fun.
Amazing. Thank you very much for telling us a little bit of the background. And I would like to ask you if there's a chance for I mean, any kind of film company to adapt this book. What would you like the most? A movie or a TV show?
Oh my gosh. You know what I would really, really like is an animated TV show. Because I feel like so I'm also like a big you guys are just learning about all the fandoms that I'm into. So I love Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I love the animation of that show. And when you think about adapting books, especially fantasy books, if you're going to do live action, you have to have like a wildly huge massive budget, and oftentimes translating it to screen
Oh,
ends up being like bad. Uh, like there was a movie that came out recently based on some dystopian books and it was awful. So it's like I would love it to be animated because also all of the like magic and stuff like that and like the world building because like the cities in Reino del Sol look so different than anything we have in the real world. So I would love it to be an animated series. I think that would be the coolest thing ever.
mhm.
Yeah, I believe that a TV show will be great. And I didn't think in animated um, design, but I think it is perfect because The Last Airbender is, it deals with elements, with superpowers, with teenage boys, teenage girls. It is a perfect, yeah. You have
Yeah.
your vision very clear.
Thank you.
Yes.
Camila, please.
Yes, I have a question. You mentioned The Last Airbender. Have you seen The Dragon Prince?
The which one?
The Dragon Prince
Oh my God, yes.
is
I love the Dragon Prince. It's
I
so good. It's so
too.
cute. I love that show.
Yes.
Oh my God. Well, I used to watch it like obsessively over and over again. Yeah, I
Oh,
love the
oh,
Dragon.
okay. That's so cool.
It's so good.
Plus, I mean, many people will be happy to draw and to be part of this kind of project because there's a lot of fan art available right
Uh,
now.
yeah,
And
it knocks my socks off every time. It's like getting fan art is probably the best part of my job. It's like I feel so cool, and it's I just can't believe that people like that my stories stick in someone's head so much that they like come up with art for it is so wild and cool.
during the week when we were discussing our progress in the book, um, I showed them your website because you added some of the official cards of every competitor and every character in the book.
Yeah.
And we were curious to see if you made them yourself or how was that process.
Yeah, so I actually have my cover artist, Mars Lauterbach. Whenever I write a book, I have them do character art. And it's usually before my editor even sees like a first draft of the story. Like I do it very early on because Mars is so talented. And honestly, I'll like send them character descriptions and then, they'll do a sketch for my approval. And it makes me like more attached to the characters, but it also helps me kind of figure out what their personalities are going to be like. And oftentimes Mars comes up with these like brilliant ideas that I'll go back and I will change what's written in the book to match the characters that they have drawn because I like it so much. So yeah, it's Mars Lauterbach, and they're just so wildly, wildly talented, and it's so fun. And I thought that I was really excited for the Sunbearer Trials specifically because we did like the trading cards, which are in the book it actually exists as trading cards. So that was really fun.
Oh, that's so great. I mean, they seem so accurate to the characters also.
Totally.
All even the positions of how they are
Yeah.
presented. It is amazing. It is
Yeah.
amazing. Abigail is telling in the chat that she is currently drawing Theo again.
Oh my gosh.
Diana, most important, why are the cards sold out? I don't know.
Okay. Okay. When I left my apartment, what was it yesterday? I was like, I don't know what time it is. The new stock came in, so when I get home early next week, they will be in the shop and available for purchase. We're also going to have the new Shio card will be available, as well as I made a pack of all of the God cards. So there will be so much character art that you can buy on the website next week.
Including the Obsidians, I believe.
Yes, including the Obsidians.
Wow. Well, so now you are told.
Yeah, so don't worry, they're coming.
Well, so now we are going to start with the Q&A part. For you readers, you may raise your hand so we can make a line and go in order. And please prepare your questions, your comments, your thoughts. Please be kind. I know that there are a lot of emotions. Yeah. And we who wants to go first? Oh, I think Nat. I see your hands. Please, Nat.
Yeah, thank you, Jerry. Um, Hello, Aiden. Hola.
Hola.
Um, I'm so happy to meet you. My name is Nat, and I'm non-binary. So this book meant a lot to me.
Oh.
Um, I love all your characters, even if they evil. I love them. They are amazing and cute, and even if they aren't cute, they're cute to me.
Thank you so much. I love that.
Yeah. Oh, my favorite character are Tio and Shio and Nia. Um, the characters that are trans, they understand a version of me that was 13, 17 years old,
Yeah.
and that was scared of being themselves, and the version of me that was hidden their wings. That
Yeah.
touched me so much.
Oh, that makes me so
Your
happy.
book,
Much.
your book became a safe place to my younger self that still lives in my heart. I read through their eyes and my eyes as an adult, and I love them everything. And it's a book that reminds me of the people with my own life experiences
Mm.
exist in this cruel, complex world, and it's comforting. Thank you so much for create such a kind and beautiful characters and world that resonates with uh, with queer youth and heal the adult readers like me that never see themselves represented growing up.
Yeah, I mean that's
Thank you.
exactly why I write them, because these are like the stories and the characters that I wish that I could have had when I was younger. Just to like have to feel a sense of connection with anyone. Like in book characters are a
Yes.
great place to find that.
um, Thank you for everything. I don't have a question. I just wanna put myself out.
Oh my gosh, well, thank you so much. I will just sit here and take compliments. That's wonderful.
um, for this meeting, I escaped my classroom, my class.
You're supposed to be in class right now? Oh my gosh, Nat.
I'm a little troublemaker. A little.
Yes, you
Oh
are.
my gosh. I appreciate your commitment. I mean, seriously, that's great.
Everything is important to me. I don't want to leave behind anything.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. I wish you all the best. Para mis amigas del club, cuídense mucho. Les veo en las próximas lecturas. Aiden, muchas gracias por escribir este libro.
Of course.
I will remember it for the rest of my days.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Take care.
Thank you,
See you
Nat.
soon.
Go back to school. Oh my gosh, that's the best.
Yeah. It was very funny because they mentioned that they were supposed to be in the bathroom. So yeah,
Oh my god, amazing.
there is commitment in this.
Seriously.
Thank you very much. So who is next?
Ya estoy regresando a mi clase, me despido. Bye, bye.
Bye, Nat. Diana, it is your turn.
Hi everyone. Hi Aiden. It's really nice to meet you. And I think that I have to say that I'm thrilled to read your book. I am not usually, I don't read this type of books or this type of stories like for younger people because my owl is quite ancient. But I felt really, really relieved by reading it because even though it is longer than what I usually read, it didn't feel that it was like that long because I was really trapped into the story. And I want to thank you for the way how you write it because it was, I don't want to say that it was easy to read, but it was easy to understand, even though you are explaining a lot about this world. It didn't make it that heavy, not heavy at all. And maybe as Gerardo mentioned, that we have been discussing the book during the week, and I think also last Saturday, that maybe it could have been also because we feel very identified with a lot of situations because of the culture. And I just loved, and I think that one of my favorite details has been the thing about the candies.
Oh
Having
yeah.
this of those specific candies have been just amazing, and absolutely it took me back to my childhood. And maybe that's the reason for the one I find it like that as a relief in my readings of these years. So thank you very much for that. And yes, also the transitions between the explanations of each part of the world, they were incredibly done. So I think that's also the reason for the one I find it like that, like easygoing. So thank you also for that. And it was, I think that it was like kind of a realization to me. I don't know if that's the way how you say it in English, but um, there is a moment where Thea is talking to Shio, and they're talking about the way how they feel, and Theo is talking about the way how his transition went, and that how he's explaining to Shio that maybe he could have feel could have felt that way. And at a moment, I thought to myself, like, yes, I felt like you were trying to educate the reader, and a part of me was like, but like why? But then I understand that because there's a lot of people out there that don't have this information, and they may find it through a story, and then makes it quite easy to learn and to understand. And as we have previously mentioned, it is something that we need, that the world needs. And maybe you were not trying to find like these concepts or ideas into a book, but the way how you find it, and you're having a good time reading, but also you're educating yourself. I think that was amazing. So thank you also for that.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I also love writing about the candy. I'll take any excuse to write about food in my writing. And yeah, it's funny because it's like when I write these stories, they're definitely for like, Latina and queer folks. But what I realized earlier on was that a lot of parents read these books, and also a lot of kids give them to their parents to like try to help their parents understand their like queer child. And so I kind of keep that at the back of my mind whenever I'm writing these stories, and I make sure just to like have little moments that are like kind of like learning, but like really geared towards like parents and like folks who like have no concept of it. Yeah, for the Sunbearer Trials and for Cemetery Boys too, there's a moment earlier in the book where Yadriel is talking to his Lita, and she misgenders him and dead names him. And like I don't say on the page what Yadriel's dead name is. I don't even know. It's none of my business. But for me, the important part was that parents and grandparents, when they read this story, they see how dead naming and misgendering internally affects, that trans person that they care about, because oftentimes we don't want to like speak up or correct people because we get worried that eventually it'll be like, okay, well, I give up. I tried. Now I'm like not even gonna bother. So having those moments where I'm just kind of showing people what that's like to be on the receiving end of, and how even if like outwardly it doesn't look like that person's affected, like inwardly it takes, it takes a toll. So that's always an important part that I want to put in to kind of like shame people to be like, don't do this. But yeah.
And also, I would have a question um, about the name of the gods or the concept of each god, because I'm a huge like history nerd.
Yeah.
So I'm really into ancient cultures. And when you were mentioning each god's name, it was reminding me like a certain god in with the Mexicas or with the Mayan culture. So I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you if you actually created like those or put those characters of those gods and goddesses into the books because of like you have certain thoughts or ideas about these ancient gods from ancient cultures.
Yeah, I also love learning about ancient cultures, and especially like ancient pantheons. And when I went to write this book, at first I wanted it to be like actual, like, historical gods. But what I realized is that it was kind of limiting me in terms of plot. So instead, what I did was there's definitely inspiration from a lot of different, like especially the Maya gods, that I kind of made new gods from. But yeah, that was definitely like the ancient gods are definitely like the building blocks for the characters I ended up using. Yeah, which was
Right.
really fun to like do a deep dive on. I have a stack of books about ancient Mexican like what's it called, mythologies and stuff like that, which is really cool. I love reading about that.
Thank you. And my last comment, if you allow me, I don't know if this story may help you maybe with an idea for another book, but there is a story or a legend, and it is said that, well, after the Spanish arrived and all the conquer happened, um, it rained for years, that long that Mexico City was under the water, even though there were already like new buildings, they were under the water for years, and many people were dying because it wouldn't stop raining. And they say that this happened because just below the Metropolitan Cathedral, that is just in Mexico City's downtown, it is said that the Spanish people bring so many people with a lot of power and magic within them, so they can trap the god that was dedicated to the rain. So nowadays, I don't remember if you're able to go downstairs, but if you're able to, there is a place where they put someone that had died, but you can find a lot of like iconography of these ancient gods because they say that's because they trapped this god in there.
Tlaloc?
Yes, Tlaloc.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh
Well,
my God. I'm gonna literally write that down because that sounds like a great concept for a story.
Yes, it is actually great. It doesn't, they don't mention the name Tlaloc, but they mention a god that was dedicated to rain. Maybe because it's part of the legend, maybe because they just wanted to keep it that way. But yes, it's quite interesting idea or legend. So I hope you liked it.
And it's locked up under the cathedral?
Yes, under the cathedral, under the tombs that are in the cathedral, because all the main like priests that rule Mexican church are buried there. So in one of them, they supposedly they put him there.
Okay, I'm gonna do so much research on that. Like, and then I will reach out, and when I write that book, I will put you in the acknowledgements because that sounds cool as hell. I'm gonna totally look at
Whenever
that.
you can, if you want to, and if you want to come visit Mexico City, I can give you a tour there. I was
Okay.
explaining the guys that I was like completing credits for school in the Templo Mayor Museum that's just next to the cathedral. So that's where I get all that information from.
We'll definitely let you know, and I think I would like to get to specifically Mexico City next year sometime. So yeah, that, oh my God, that sounds so cool. I'm really excited now. Thank you for
You're going
telling
to
me
be
about that.
very welcome whenever you
Yes,
want
so,
to. And I'm super happy that you're that excited. Thank you
yeah,
too.
that sounds really cool.
I find so satisfying the way Diana tells every story
Oh my God, it
because
was so good.
she's very educated. And when we had the previous meetings, I was so fascinated listening to her because I was like, I didn't know. It's supposed to be my culture. And wow. Yeah, and it changes everything in terms of the I understand why now.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, that's so cool. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm a little irritated that I have to do stuff today because I would rather just do a deep dive on my computer.
Oh, I'm so sorry, but God, luck, we are going to record that, so you may check this later.
Perfect.
Thank you, Diana, for all the information and the
Yes,
info.
thank you.
It was
Seriously.
fantastic.
Yeah, actually, Jardo, if you don't mind giving Deanna my email address so I can bother them about this, that'd be great.
That will be great. I will share the information with her.
Thank you, thank you.
It's going to be a pleasure. Thank you.
So now who is next? Who would like to ask Aiden a question or a compliment? Don't be shy. Okay. Oh, Abigail.
Hello, my name is Abigail. Nice to
Hi.
meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Sorry, I don't speak English, así que le voy a pedir a Gerardo que me vaya traduciendo.
It's okay.
Ahí llegó mi nivel de inglés.
Lo hiciste muy bien. You did great.
Ok, yo he leído el libro hace ya un tiempo. Lo he leído cuando llegó a la Argentina, en el 2023 creo, que lo compré en la Feria del Libro.
She read the book last year when it first arrived to Argentina. She's in Argentina right now.
Oh, sweet, cool.
Yeah. And yeah, in the book fair, she got it in the book fair.
Oh, nice.
El libro, la verdad es que lo compré principalmente porque venía con las cartitas, porque me parecieron maravillosas y me encantaron las ilustraciones al punto que dije, no, esto yo me lo llevo porque me lo tengo que llevar.
She was fascinated for the cards that were included in the book.
Yeah.
That is why she didn't hesitate to get a copy.
That's why I pick up books too.
El libro me lo leí en 2 días, no me duró mucho, la verdad, si tengo que serle sincero.
Wow.
Entonces, la verdad es que cuando me enteré que había un final abierto, me enojé muchísimo porque dije, ahora tengo que esperar 3 años hasta que salga la segunda parte, aproximadamente.
She read the book very quick in 2 days.
2 days, that's so fast.
And at the end, she was so mad because she needed to wait years for the sequel.
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
Realmente me encantó el libro, la representación, los dioses mitológicos, siempre me encantaron mucho de la mitología de diferentes países, sobre todo me gusta más la griega, pero me encantó poder expandir los horizontes a la fantasía de otros países, como la mexicana.
She said that she loved the book and she loved the representation that there is in it, as well as the representation of the culture, because she is mainly fascinated by Greek mythology. But it was amazing for her to also find like mythology with pre-Hispanic gods from our continent, I believe.
Realmente el libro me pareció increíble, me quedé fascinada y se lo he recomendado a todos mis amigos y prestado el libro a mis amigos. Es como, toma mi libro, léelo, te va a gustar. También, bueno, ha pasado de que hay una anécdota muy chistosa de que yo lo estaba leyendo en el patio de mi colegio con una amiga al lado mío.
Oh.
Y
sorry, I will stop you there. She is very enthusiastic for the book, and she basically admitted that she forced her friend to read the book.
I appreciate her peddling my books to her friends. It's great.
la anécdota que me refería era que yo estaba hablando con una amiga mientras mostraba las cartas y le digo sobre la de Nilla, le digo, mira, se ve re buena, está re bien, está genial, es una diosa, una reina. Y literalmente llegó a la parte del libro donde dice eso, ella misma. Dice, mira cómo me dibujaron acá, me veo genial. Y nos empezamos a reír y a tentar en medio del pasillo porque estábamos leyendo y bueno, pasaron cosas.
She was with her friend at school, and while she was reading the book, her friend was checking the cards, and they were fascinated for Nilla's card because she looked like a goddess.
Oh
And
my God. Love me, yeah.
in that exact moment, it's when in the book Abigail was reading when Nilla receives the cards from Shio, and that she says, "I'm a goddess in here." So it's
Yeah.
exactly what they said.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah. I love Nia. Nia's probably my favorite character to write. She's so funny and fun.
Yes.
La verdad es que es un placer haberlo conocido en esta reunión. La verdad tenía un poco de miedo, no, me llegó muy de improviso la invitación, porque yo he redibujado dos cartas, la de Teo y la de Aurelio, debido a que son mis dos personajes favoritos. En realidad, Aurelio más que Teo. Prefiero Aurelio. Me ha gustado desde que apareció en el libro, yo dije, este me parece que algo es bueno. Acá lo están planteando como malo. Entonces, realmente estoy feliz de haber podido estar en esta reunión, porque como me llevo improviso por los dibujos, no sabía si era real o no, y me puse nerviosa. Entonces, agradezco muchísimo estar aquí.
Well, she's first of all so glad to be here and to meet you because she's an artist and she has been drawing fun art and cards for Teo and Aurelio, her favorite characters. And that well, I missed what she said. Basically that. Sorry, Abigail.
Hablé mucho, disculpa.
No. It's okay.
Aurelio es mi personaje favorito. Siempre
Aurelio is
pensé
her
de
favorite.
que algo había más de Aurelio cuando al principio del libro decían como que Teo lo miraba medio feo. Yo dije, no, algo está pasando acá.
She knew that Aurelio was a good guy deep inside.
Yeah, I like to say that there was between Teo and Aurelio, it's like one-sided rivals to lovers because like Teo is like so mad at him and is like, I hate you. And then Aurelio is just like, I don't understand what's happening.
Y la verdad es que agradezco muchísimo tener la oportunidad de estar acá porque estaba nerviosa. Entonces, bueno, creo que yo ya... Y bueno, no, sí, tengo una pregunta. ¿Cuándo va a llegar en español la secuela? Muero por leerla.
Well, she says that she's very happy to meet you and to have a chance to talk to you. And her question will be, do you know when is the sequel
It'll
in
be out in
Spanish?
Spanish.
Yeah, coming up.
Gosh, I'm not positive. It usually takes about a year after the English version comes out, I'm pretty sure. I know, I'm so sorry, lo siento. It's like- but it takes a while for them to translate it. It's a very hard job to translate books. So it takes them a while and then they have to, do all their printing and everything. So it's a longer process than I would like it to be, that's for sure.
Tendremos que esperar tal vez un año más para tener la versión en español, pero en un año perfectamente podemos aprender a leer en inglés y leernos el libro porque ya está publicado. Digo, Celestial Monsters is out now, and I was telling her that we may prepare and learn how to read in English.
God, that would take so long. It'd be hard.
Yeah. Is everything, Abigail? ¿Es todo, Abby? Muchísimas gracias por participar y gracias por la confianza. Thank you so much for replying to Abby as well. I had to do my best with
You did great.
translation. I'm not really good at getting all the information and okay, but
I can get like half of it.
So now who is next? Dana, I see your hand. Please.
Yeah. Hi, I'm so nice to meet you. I'm very nervous and I'm very thankful for this invitation because I was not part of the club. But I'm very excited and you became one of my favorite authors. I discovered you last year. I always see your books, but it was like, oh, that's a cute cover, and it seems interesting. But I never like read you, but you were always like on my life. Like I see your books, and it was like I should read it probably. And I started with the trials, and I love it completely. I'm very your fan. I love you a lot. I read it, and it's literally my favorite book of the year. And then I read Cemetery Boys, which is a masterpiece too. And I was very excited when you posted like you wrote the sequel, and I was like, I'm so happy. And I finished the trials in June, and I was like, in the end, I was like, what happened? And I was so happy that it was the second book. It was on September, so I say, okay, it's not that way, so it was okay. But I was like very like crazy on my house. Like my mom has to deal with my fan and all my stuff. And then I read Cemetery Boys, which I love it too much. I read a lot about you. So like my goal is to read all your books, and I'm very happy to be here. And I'm very nervous actually. I'm like shaking. Like
Don't be
I
nervous.
You're
really
doing great.
your fan, and I agree with your books needs to be like an anime series because I love it completely. And it's like your book is perfect. Like it's all I like, and I'm very happy, and I love this so much.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'm so sorry that you got to the end of the Sunbearer Trials and had to deal with that ending. But luckily, you only had to wait like 3 months, so that's not so bad.
Yeah, it's what's okay. Like, okay, I can deal with that.
Yeah.
And I really want to meet you here when you come to Guadalajara. Like, I'm expecting to meet you there because I'm from here.
Yes.
So I really want to go to the field and meet you in person.
Yeah, I am definitely going to be making it down there. So yeah, that would be great. I would love to see you.
Yeah, I really wish I can go to see you because in that week I have my midterms and all that stuff.
Oh my
But
gosh.
I really hope I can make some space to go to see you.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, and I'm having a great time working on the Cemetery Boys sequel right now. It's like literally sitting in a tab on my laptop right now. I'm like working on it in between everything else that I've got going on. So I'm excited. And that one's going to be out in less than a year at this point. Yeah.
I'm really excited because I love just books. Like
Thank you so much.
they're so good. Like they get me out of the slump of a year
Mm.
maybe, and I was really excited. And now that I read them, I just want to read more. And my goal is to read all your books, like I said.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. That's so kind.
Thank you. And I love the covers. It's just precious. Like
Aren't they great? I have the best covers. I am
Yeah,
so
it's great. So yeah, I just want to ask if you have like a routine to write, like you, and I wish to know what.
it's funny because it's like it depends on what stage of the deadline I'm at. Like, when it's at the beginning, it's like I like being in my office. I have like a big window that looks out on trees, which is really nice. And I'll usually have coffee all the time. And I like listening to music when I write. I always make playlists for my books. And so like depending on what the scene is, I like listen to different songs. I like if it's like an action scene, it's like, really intense music. And if it's a more romantic like scene between like Teo and Aurelio, it's more, soft and gentle and cute music. But then the closer I get to deadline, it's like I'm writing on planes and I'm writing like in the car sometimes when I have like road trips to do. And then I'm up until like 2 o'clock in the morning drinking Red Bulls and like eating candy. So it really varies depending.
Thank you so much for answering me, for listening. It wasn't very nice to meet you like that.
That's what I said.
I hope
Thank
I
you so
can meet
much.
you in person.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was great. Thank you. Thank you very much. In the chat, we have playlist.
Exactly. I
describe
was
what
going
we
to
do.
ask that. Please share the playlist.
I think it's on my Spotify. And my handle is just Aiden Schmaden. I'll put it in the chat.
Oh gosh.
Maiden. So there's definitely, I'm not sure if I've posted the Celestial Monsters one yet or not, but I will check. But there's like
Okay, thank
Cemetery
you.
Boys and the Sunbearer Trials for sure.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I love listening to music while reading because it gets me, I focus best that way.
I agree.
So,
I need like background noise. I hate silence.
yes, yes, correct. Everyone, feel free to take any picture, post, and tag Aiden and the book club if you feel like it. In the meantime, we can check who's next, Camila, I believe, or Evie.
Oh, I don't know what to say because I have to say many things, like a lot of stuff. Because I love your all your books, really, and I have read Celestial Monsters, so I have a lot to say. Like, no, Celestial Monster was amazing, but really, really amazing. Oh, I have so much but to say, but the one I had is, are you planning to expand the universe of the Summer Trials or only the duology of the Ona Radio?
So I have like a folder on my computer where I just keep the bajillion ideas that I have. And I have a couple of spin-off ideas for the Sunbearer Trials like universe. And my favorite idea so far is a a book starring Nia and Oristela as they go to deal with a volcano god, like a ancient
Okay.
deity. So that's the big idea that I have. But publishing is weird, and like basically the duology has to make a certain amount of money before they commit to like a spin-off. But it's doing well. So hopefully I get to write that one because I think it would be really fun. But I also have books coming out the like next 3 years. In September 25, it'll be the Cemetery Boys sequel. In September 26, I'm I'm writing my first sci-fi book, and I know I'm so scared. I've never written sci-fi before.
To read that one.
And that one right now is like the title, the working title is Gay Titanic in Space. So that's basically what the book will be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the year after that, I have a like contemporary romance that's set during college.
Okay.
And then hopefully I can do a Sunbearer Trials spinoff in between or after.
Oh, yes, please. And a spin-off? Like, where, I don't know. Oh, so I can say some things about Celestial Monsters because like like Abigail said, not spoilers. I'm not gonna say something, but I have a question. Like, between Cemetery Boys characters and Summer Trials characters, which one would they have a great friendship? Like, I have an idea of between Julian and Nia. Like, their friendship
my
will be
God.
amazing.
Yeah, you're so right. They would be, it's a good thing that they're in different universes because they would, oh my God, poor Yadriel would be, and Theo actually would be fighting for their lives. If Mia and Julian ever like were in the same proximity to each other, it would be absolute chaos. I also think that Yadriel and Aurelio would get along really well because they're kind of quiet and need some like, alone time every once in a while. I think, God, actually, Julian Maritza and Nia would be an actual disaster in like the best way possible. They would be really fun too.
Yay. You're right with the trio of chaos. Like, in the Summer Trials, the chaos trio was Nia, Shio, and
Yeah,
I forgot the name. Yes.
Yeah.
you got it.
I forget the main character. Oh my god. Well, But if the two books were connected, the Chaos Trio will be Nia, Julian, and Theo, maybe. I don't know. Also, I don't know. I have so much to tell. This is more like a personal stuff, but have you heard about Childs of Primavera on TikTok? Just
No.
gonna say. Okay, so good.
Wait,
Like
what is
it's my fan account from the summer trial. But,
shut up? What? That's so cool.
yes.
Okay, well, I'm gonna look it up when we're done.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to. Really, you
No,
don't
I
have
want
to.
to. I want to.
No.
The Child of
Uh,
Vera, is that right?
yes.
Okay, I'm
Uh,
gonna look it up.
no. I don't know how. What else to tell? I'm so nervous. I'm so glad that I meet you. And thank you for creating these amazing books that we all love. Really.
It's literally my joy and pleasure. I have the coolest job ever, and as long as you guys keep wanting to read them, I will keep writing books.
Oh,
Please.
Gladly and happily.
Thank God. Thank gods, actually.
Yes.
Yvette, it is your turn, maybe?
first of all, I want to apologize for my Wi-Fi connection. I have some troubles. Sorry if I repeat something that you already said or
That's
something.
okay. No worries.
But first of all, then I love your book. It was a fast-paced reading. It didn't happen for me in a while that I start a book and immediately connect and couldn't put it down. I feel exactly like when in middle school I started to read The Hunger Games.
Oh my God, yes, yes.
I had that sensation that I was so immersed in the book that I couldn't stop reading, feel instantly connected. And just as a personal observation, I'm 28 years old, but Juan Pablo Villalobos, a Mexican author, says that when he went through his late 20s, he went through like his second teenage stage or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I saw a lot of myself in Aurelio and in Theo. All the ideas they had, all the concerns. I know that the book is aimed to a younger audience, but I feel so related to them in some things that they were going through, and I appreciate that because I don't know, I felt like less alone, or they keep bringing questions that I am currently facing. Let's say that. And yes, I feel especially connected to those guys. So my question is, I know that you already said, Nia, you love to write about her, that it was really fun. But my question was, I want you to pick 3 characters. And I want you to let us know what are you picking. Whether you're related to them, whether it's fun to write about them, the potential. I know that you may have some insights about the second book that we don't have. So please elaborate on the reasons why are you picking those characters.
Yeah, so I think, gosh, I'm trying to think of ways to talk about it without saying any spoilers. Nia is definitely the most fun, like I said, but Teo, I really, really relate to. I was too nervous and scared to like be a troublemaker in a positive way when I was like a teenager. So I think he's sort of like how I wish I was, like had the courage to be when I was younger. But I think now he's definitely a reflection of like who I am now, because I feel like I am a professional troublemaker, like I've said. I've made a reputation for myself in publishing of not standing for injustices and kind of bullshit, frankly. So I think I relate to him like right now on a really intense level. Oh, who else? I think I really relate to Mala Suerte. I feel like I have like a really deep connection to him as a character, and like especially when I was writing these books, which was during like quarantine, and sort of the feeling of I'm trapped in the system that's like not working for me and that's actually bad, and like kind of losing faith in it. So I think like Mala Suerte was me like putting on the page all of the like internal struggles that I was facing at the time. And so in Celestial Monsters, you'll kind of see what happens with his arc, and that was, yeah, it's how I feel about the world and kind of how I move through it right now. So yeah, those are probably the three that are the most relatable. That was a good question. I had to think.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
By the way, Aiden, Nat sent me and Diana a text that they are now in class, so we don't have to worry.
Okay, good. I'm very glad.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and mainly to Aiden, who made everything possible. Also to Alex, because they were also very kind with us and with arranging this session a year ago. So you can imagine it has been this way. I was so glad to work with you too, and also to make this happen.
Thank
It
you
was
so much for
fantastic.
having me. This was super fun. I love doing book clubs like this. So this was a really nice break in my day. I appreciate it.
And I hope to see you in Phil Guadalajara, because
Yes,
you're
too.
coming again. And
Yes.
I'm so happy I will be there to cheer you up and say
Yay!
hi. And also, I will be, I will get my Celestial Monsters copy. It is so unfortunate that we don't are not in the same room right now, that we are not attending the Texas festival for a book signing, but eventually I think we may find out.
Yes, very soon. I'll see you guys.
Thank you again, everyone. And Aiden, thanks. Special thanks to you.
Of course. It was so nice to meet you guys. Thank you so much. Those were wonderful questions. Y'all have a good one.
Yeah. Before we go out, I forgot. Do you have your copies?
I don't
We
have
may, we no, I totally understand. I just want to check if we can.
Oh yeah, do a group pick.
Que la
Yes.
preste a una amiga.
It's okay. We can edit. We can edit a cover.
There you go. Yeah.
I read it on the phone and I'm taking the call on the phone. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
It's okay.
I can do a heart too.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Wait, tengo una idea, tengo una idea.
You have an idea?
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, it doesn't. There's so many different ways that you can. There's
Oh,
that.
that you may share the cover. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is great. Are you all ready?
Yeah.
It's done. Thank you.
Awesome.
And you will find this session available later. So just keep in touch with us and hope to see you all soon.
Awesome. Bye, y'all. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Aiden.
Have a
Thank you,
great
Gerardo.
festival.
Muchísimas
Bye.
gracias por conocerte. De paso te muestro mi dibujito de Teo y Aurelio.
Qué
Oh,
increíble.
Bueno,
Creo que lo compartiste en tu Instagram, ¿verdad?
sí, estaba compartido en mi Instagram.
Sí, increíble, increíble su trabajo, chicas, quienes se dedican al arte. Seguimos en contacto, Diana, y gracias, Ivy, también por hacernos un espacio.
Gracias a todos
Un
por estar
placer
en
gracias a
conocerles.
todos.
Sí,
Cuídense
Placer
mucho.
conocerles. Muchas
Bye.
gracias por la
cuídense.
oportunidad.
Gracias a
Sí,
ustedes que estuvieron
muchas
presentes.
gracias.
Bye.
Chao.
Bye.
Bye.